yourselves and welcome back again to my YouTube channel. I know it's been the longest of times, I do know. However, I'm well and I've been busy with work, hence why the video hasn't been coming. There's something that's currently ongoing in Nigeria and I felt the need to talk about it, especially as it relates to law, right? So you understand that everyone in Nigeria now has a thing for comedy. Everyone in Nigeria now seems to be a comedian. Even when it's at the expense of other people's lives and safety, people would still do the most just to make money off the internet. Take a look at this. So this is basically a prank where he pretends to be shot at and then he falls and then people are taken aback, more like surprised, and then because of the exigencies of the time we live in, they like run. So because of it, it's more like supposed to make people laugh because of the reaction of other people at the time. He did this at a fuel station. You can see the fuel attendants leaving the fuel pump unattended to. This is, yes, you might call this comedy, but this is one too expensive. You get, this is somewhere that you know that the petrol is highly inflammable and people are always there, cars are there. What if something just goes wrong? Please. Right? These are things that I feel that It's also a snake prank where he's pranking people with a toy snake, but which looks very realistic, and then people are taken aback and then they run without even having to know where they are running to. You know, that's pulse, that's thought. Look at this one climbing on top of a pole, an electric pole. These are things that I feel like should not be happening. Here again, he's covering people's heads and faces with a bucket. What if this person steps into a gutter? What if he steps into a drainage? What if he misses a foot? These are all that should be taken into consideration. You recall that Nigeria is faced with a lot of insecurity in a lot of states. So someone now comes and says, they're coming. Everyone takes to his heels. So this is what exactly happened here. Someone was just shouting, they're coming. Say for instance, this happens and someone falls off, or like while the person is trying to run, the person misses a step and falls and the person's head lands on the gutter or the pavement or the concrete on the floor or even on the road. Or take for instance, the person is running and the person did not wait to see if there is an oncoming vehicle or if there's something the person should be wary of, and the person goes into the road just because the person was scared or agitated because of what one comedian was doing or another. Then you realize that what becomes inescapable to answer is whether or not this person is dead, this person is incapacitated as a result of this, whether or not this happened, not even why it happened per se. What the law is looking at, did this actually happen? If that part is established, which is an inescapable question that has to be determined, then you now go to the actus reus and the mens rea, which is the actual act and the intention to actually have that, and the intention behind the act. Now, whereas in an instance for murder, the two ingredients, actus reus and the mens rea, which is the action itself, and then the intention to commit that act, has to both be present simultaneously, cure a conviction in murder. But in a case of manslaughter, which is a lesser crime to murder, you understand that one of the ingredients is enough to secure conviction in manslaughter. Now, yes, while you say that, while you can actually argue that you were just basically trying to shoot a film or play a comedy or something, what the judge is going to ask, or one of the questions that would actually come to you is, did this happen? One of the questions that you know that the defendant counsel is going to ask, or the prosecution counsel is going to ask, is that, did this happen as a result of this? The causation, the causal link between something and another, the causal link between the action and the result. So whilst you are still trying to understand all that, you understand that someone has either lost his life or her life, lost the capacity to work as a result of your actions or your inaction. So whilst everyone is trying to get into comedy as it is now in Nigeria, you have to also understand that there are
risks involved in all this. I don't understand why you would not do your comedy without having to scare people or having to do something that would make people want to run, without having to look, without having to do other things. These are things that I feel like at this age and time people should not be involved in, because things are happening. It's not even safe anymore. I don't understand how you do comedy and then the only thing you want to do is scare people to run, and after that someone is a prank, is a prank. Everyone possibly has a health condition. Some aged people suffer from hypertension, some diabetes, some this or that. Something that would actually cause more like a surge in the person's heart pressure, a surge in the person's blood pressure, can actually result in death of that person. Now, whilst you're doing that comedy and doing everything, and then this thing happens, do you know that you can be charged for manslaughter? Yes, you can actually escape murder, but you can't escape manslaughter, because it was because of your actions or your inactions that led to the death of that person. Now, that your act of scaring people away, and then they take the adrenaline in them actually comes into play. The adrenaline in them is actually invoked, and then they actually act in accordance with what is perceived, and then later on they realize it's a prank. Oh, but while they were doing that, either they got injured, or they lost their lives, or they lost something. What if they are running and then they hit their head on the pavement? It causes internal bleeding. They hit their waists on the pavement. It causes a spinal cord injury. These are all things that should be taken into place. And then I understand that everyone is trying to make money off the internet, but not at the expense of people. So yes, while we will appreciate the comedy, the joy, the laughter you bring to us all, we also I also like to reiterate that to be forewarned is to be forearmed, and what is worth doing is worth doing very well. So there are other ways you could actually showcase your comedy talents to the world, rather than endangering the lives of people, endangering your own life and stuff. So yes, that's all I wanted this video to be all about. So yes, keep the world happy, but keep the world safe. Till I come your way next time, remember to subscribe, share, like. We're on a journey to 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get on this journey together. Till I come your way next time, is Z on Demand, and I love you. Supervisory angle of the brand Z on Demand. Here we bring you aerial shot views of your projects, whether ongoing, completed, or even before your land purchases. Now, gone are the days when your brothers, your sisters, or even your business counterparts will want to rip you off of your hard-earned money. I do know how hard it is to earn even 1 cent, so I would not approve of anyone ripping you of your money. Now, this is why we have provided this package to bring you up to speed with your supposed projects here in Imo State, Nigeria, and even in any part of Nigeria at large. If there's one thing we're going to promise you, it's confidentiality. Your projects are well safe with us. Another thing we promise is quality content, clear, crisp pictures of your project, your land purchases, or even your completed projects. And we also promise speed. Your videos will be made available to you 2 days, yes, 48 hours after the site visitation, provided that you have paid in full and subject also to the availability of your pointer. So yes, go ahead now, hit that subscribe button, send me an email or send me a DM on Instagram.